The nostalgia, the tradition, the magic, the memories, and the madness. The most listened to and downloaded siblings podcast about theme parks that drops on a Thursday from the state of New York. Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. Brought to you by DillosDizResort.com.
Now is the time.
Forever?
Miss Tomorrow.
Old.
A minute and a half.
Hashtag always MGM.
Step out to your right.
Old.
The secret staircase.
We always do that.
You are approaching the unloading area.
Behold the majesty of the Sistine Seal.
For the kids.
A salute to all theme parks, but mostly Walt Disney World.
What a cute ending.
Aloha and welcome aboard.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are here. We're going to have a big guest. I'm really excited, trying to compose myself, maintain my level of excitement.
Yes, we're playing it cool like we do, obviously.
Like we do. We're going to get to our interview with our guest momentarily, but just as an appetizer, just before we do that introduction, I want to make mention that over the past few weeks on Theme Park Thursday, first I talked about going to see Dave Matthews Band at Madison Square Garden, and then we talked a lot about the concert after I returned, and I mentioned that there was kind of this show within a show.
Right.
It's kind of a play within a play.
Mhm.
And we are very excited to have the guest involved with that show within a show. But I want to make sure everybody knows first about what is coming up, because it's December, Jen. It's December.
I don't even understand how it's December, quite honestly.
We have planned well in advance, and we've moved forward with the 24 days of Vlogmas.
You know, I'm going to be honest here. We're recording this on December 1st. And still this morning, I'm like, are we doing it? We're doing this? We're going through with it. All right, let's do it. Let's go all in.
And it's a matter of just switching out the intros, right? Because we've been working on vlogs.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, are we putting in the Christmas intro?
Right.
Are we putting in the Dillo's Diz intro? And that's where we are. But Mr. Snidillo put in all that work on the Vlogmas intro. I don't know how we don't do it.
I know, we have to. We just keep blaming him and using that as an excuse. Well, there's a nice intro. We have to use it.
That is correct. So Jen has dropped in the first of the 24 days of Vlogmas. If you're listening on Thursday morning, Jen was at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade Inflation Day, which takes place the Wednesday night before. Typically, it's pandemonium. Was it pandemonium?
It sure was. It's pandemonium mixed with COVID protocols and restrictions. And if you have already watched, then you know that I mentioned the ending may not go as you thought it would, because it didn't go the way I thought it would. So
does it add in the TikTok? Oh no. Oh, no.
I mean, I think it could. I probably can make some TikToks with that sound based on some of my footage.
Excellent. So make sure you check that out over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DillosDiz. Will we get through all 24 days? Stay tuned and find out. Also on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DillosDiz, Theme Park Thursday live every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. We're doing it. If you're listening to this at 9 a.m., say, hey, we're over on YouTube at 10 a.m. So we'll probably take a lot of the theme park talk that may have been normally scheduled for this episode and carry it over to Theme Park Thursday Live and the post show that we do over at DillosDizResort.com. DillosDizResort.com is our Patreon membership level. Membership levels begin as low as $1 per month. That $1 gets you into our one-channel Discord. Anything can happen in that Discord. And at the end of this episode, you will see a consequence of something that happened because of the one-channel Discord. Right. So make sure to check that out. Theme Park Thursday Live. Definitely one of those topics this week will be the video that was teased earlier this week on the Disney Parks Twitter and all the social media, where we saw a little performance on the Galactic Starcruiser, which is opening up in March of 2022. A lot of mixed feelings in the social media universe about
As
the
always.
performance. What mixed feelings, strong opinions, never.
Mhm.
So we'll talk more about that over on Theme Park Thursday Live and at the Patreon post show. But I'll just say, because again, we're just tying in all the New York stories here today on Theme Park Thursday, that I enjoyed. I mean, I'll leave the performance part out of it,
Mhm.
but they teased a little bit of like, oh, you kind of made a left turn and went into this doorway that you didn't know what it was, and you explored this whole new area. And to me, that's very Sleep No More, which
Mhm.
is a huge immersive theatrical experience, not just in New York, but in Boston, all over the world. It's been around for about a dozen years. And Sleep No More, while a little more edgier than, say, the Galactic Starcruiser, it's an immersive experience tying in dance and performance art and Shakespeare's Macbeth. And it all, it's a 3-hour experience where you're all masked. Go figure. And the thing about this Galactic Starcruiser tease was that if you're actually going to have these kind of moments of exploration where you can just find yourself anywhere, in Sleep No More, you can like go through filing cabinets.
Right.
If that's available to you on the Galactic Starcruiser, that's an upgrade for me, more than the performance, the exploration of different areas and different rooms.
Right. And I think we kind of talked about that when, the whole announcement came out and the cost of everything and is it really worth it for what you get? And I think at that point, we kind of spoke to the experience. Like a lot is going to play into what is the experience that you are getting, because that itself may be worth every penny, because they just may bring a whole new level to the immersive experience. They may bring a whole new level to the performances. Yes. But like you said, if you're able to kind of go rogue a little bit and see what you can find along the way, that would be amazing.
It's like us finding the secret staircase at the beach.
That's right.
To wrap things up here, we have the Vlogmas with the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade Inflation Day on our YouTube channel. Theme Park Thursday Live coming up on our YouTube channel. The post show over at DillosDizResort.com. But here today, we're kind of wrapping in thematically all these New York experiences. And on November the 12th, I was at Madison Square Garden with Mrs. Dillo to see Dave Matthews Band. And at the start of the concert, Dave announces that Jeff, the sax player, is out ill. Mm-hmm. And on a moment's notice, our guest today was called to play 2 sold-out shows at Madison Square Garden. We're so excited because I tweeted the day after his legendary performance. Basically, it's a New York legend to me at this point. The story within a story, the response that our guest here today received at Madison Square Garden. He's going to take us all through that. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about all his holiday gigs coming up through the month of December. Ben the Sax Guy, a.k.a. Ben Golder-Novick, is here on Theme Park Thursday. And he's going to take us through that right after this.
Anyone actually have time to plan a trip anymore? Between work, school, parenting, or whatever else life throws your way, it's hard to find the time to plan your time away. This is where Dashing Destinations can help. Dashing Destinations is a no-fee travel agency that helps you dash off on your next trip. See what I did there? If you're traveling for vacation, business, or anything in between, Dashing Destinations has you covered. Of course, with this being Theme Park Thursday, we want to let you know that they can help plan your next Disney destination, Disney cruise, and even your Universal trip. Find at Dashing Destinations on Facebook, at Dashing Travel on Twitter, and at Dashing Destinations Travel on Instagram. Reach out with any questions you have and start planning today. It costs you nothing. Remember to tell them that Dillo's Diz sent you.
All right. Oh, the broadcast is live.
It's official.
Jen, I forgot to tell you when Ben and I were texting back and forth that I was also TikToking. I was also texting you. I was texting you about TikToking, and one of my TikTok. Well, I was like, Jen, do you have a sound to use for this? And that text went to Ben, and he's like, I'll look for a sound.
Yeah, I was like, I'll get back to you on that TikTok thing. I do have people ask me things like that. So I was like, let me look into it later.
Before you even meet him and you're like, hey, can you start composing my TikToks? That would be great. Thanks so much.
Ben, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us here, because I feel like the past month for you has been amazing. Is that how you've been feeling? Have you been walking on a cloud for like 3.5 weeks or so?
Pretty much. It's I'm still surprised that the energy is still going. Because I've played with Dave before, like with Dave and Tim, about 6 times. And it was a lot of times. I mean, obviously that was very different because it would be just like one song, and so I would play, and then it would be hey, congratulations, that was so cool. And then after a day, that was it. So yeah, like the energy is still going. I'm just getting all these messages. I'd say like I don't know, almost like kind of 5 congratulatory messages like per hour. So it's still happening. And then and then all these gigs are happening this month. So I'm taking it all in.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's so cool. And it's great that the energy is still going, and probably part in that it was Madison Square Garden. I mean, like,
right.
Playing there has to just like that carries you over for a while, that kind of energy and the vibe in there.
It is.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know exactly how many people it was, but I think because times that I've played before, I think it was probably the same amount of people, same number.
Yeah.
However, like you said, Madison Square Garden, it's a whole different, and also that was usually outside. Playing outside is cool.
Yeah.
Playing inside Madison Square Garden is cooler.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll walk it all the way back and then lead back up to Madison Square Garden on November 12th and 13th with Dave Matthews Band. Take me to the origin story of Ben Golder-Novick. How did you get into music? Was it grade school, elementary school? You have family influences?
Wow,
where did it all begin?
Go way back.
Wow, I was really into sports when I was younger, and like watching and playing sports, and I kind of got a little frustrated with it, just with the kind of the competition part. Like I was pretty good, but then a lot of people were better, so that was kind of frustrating. So it was just something else that I was like, oh, this music thing, I like this. That's like I can just do my own thing, and like that's it. Like I don't have to worry about I don't have to like I don't have like a coach telling me what to do.
Yeah.
I can just do whatever I want. And it was like a nice alternative to sport. And I pretty much was into sports because I didn't like school. So like sports was like, all right, cool. This is something that's not school. That's good. I like that, and then music, I was like, oh, cool. So this is even more enjoyable than sports. And I don't know if I could do it all over again. I wish I had could have done more sports. Like, cause like eventually I made a choice. I was like, nope, just music,
Right.
not sports. Because I like sports. I feel like these days it's a lot of folks are like, oh yeah, going to the gym. I'm like, dude, that's so boring. Like I'd rather play basketball or soccer and get the same type of exercise. Well, I'd say it's even better exercise, but who knows? Anyway, and then also my father is a musician as well, so that has something to do with it. Although it was like about a year that we would like kind of jam together, like when I was like 10, because he plays the same sax and clarinet, and then I was like, nah. I was like, I was just I think I just didn't feel rebellious enough. I was like, oh no, my dad's jamming with me, nah. So and he was very understanding of that. So but then I would still ask him questions like kind of sporadically every now and then, and now we like play together way more.
Yeah,
now that I'm 40, and he's well, you know, he's
Up
that.
there a little bit. Was sax your first instrument that you learned to play?
Yeah. Well. Yes and no. Piano was the very first one, and then like it was like 2 or 3 years after piano, then I started playing sax. Because then you could be in the school band. You couldn't do that with piano. So then for a while I was playing both, and then just the sax, and then I guess I didn't play clarinet at MSG. The whole clarinet thing actually came like way later.
You also play the flute as well, right?
Yeah.
A little. You dabble.
Exactly. Yeah, I had it up there. I never actually played any of those. I had it up there ready to go, and then the second night I was like, I'd rather not play flute. I do play it. I was kind of rusty, so at the shows it was tenor, soprano, and bari sax.
Okay, very cool. Because I have an extensive history with the flute from 5th to 9th grade, and I always found, and some of my friends would play clarinet, and I could never make a sound with the clarinet. I'm like, this instrument is ridiculous. I have no idea how people are playing this. I don't know what it was that it was. I know, and I think
can never make
amazing.
a sound with the flute.
See, so I feel like it's either one or the other. It's harder to. Like,
I think so, actually.
Yeah,
because the flute doesn't have a reed, so it's its own thing.
Right.
I think it is. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it seems like if someone plays the sax, then they either play the flute or the clarinet. I mean, obviously there are those who play all three and do that very well.
Yeah.
I kind of made a choice. I was like, nah, clarinet. I really like the flute though. I like it. It was for the music that I play and stuff. It just seemed the clarinet was more suitable. But it's for the folks who play all three. I don't know how they do it. I mean, like for Broadway gigs, it's like bassoon, oboe. I'm just like, dude,
I know, it's crazy. Well, we can duet some hot cross buns because that's pretty much all I know how to play now. So we'll talk offline about that.
Sounds good. Flute duets, nice.
So what else? And what do you dabble into bass too? And what's I never pronounce it right. The melodica.
Oh, melodica. So we saw the looping. Okay, cool. That was that. Yeah, it's like on one hand, I guess I could say I play like 15 instruments.
Right.
So, I haven't done that. I haven't done that in a while, but there was definitely a good like 5 years where I was just really into the live looping. It was in 2010. So I was actually living in Connecticut before. Like I was a school teacher, like for music, and then I was like I gotta try this New York thing, before it's too late. So then like in 2010 I moved to New York for a year. Like I took a leave of absence. I actually lied to the school system. I said I was getting my master's degree. 100% lying. I think it's pretty obvious by now. So
a master in street smarts. You're taking
That's
it to
right.
New York.
That's really what it was. And somehow, they let me do a leave of unpaid leave of absence. I had like tenure and everything.
Oh wow.
So, so I think that's the key to life. Lying. No.
If you take nothing away from this interview.
So I mean, it's like I wrote. It's lying, but also like writing something really interesting. Like I just said, I was going to do a master's in jazz education. I just totally made it up.
Yeah.
Like then I'll be able to come back and really focus on like teaching jazz. I mean, I'd say it's 50% true because that is what I wanted to do. I just didn't want to like go to actual school to do it.
Right.
But so that 1 year in New York, I was just kind of jamming all over the place. and like different open mics and jam sessions, and I was like, oh, you know, like this is cool. Like, 'cause I felt a little lost because I was just going one place after another. It was a lot of fun, but it was a little bit like, you know, it was a little much. I was like, I can just do this myself. You know? So that's how I got into live looping, because like I've had an electric bass, a acoustic guitar. Like I've had those instruments since I was much younger, just to kind of have fun, just, you know, dabble.
Mhm.
And yeah, so then I just got a little bit more equipment. And it's like, 'cause I have like a audio interface right here. So it's although I should be using it, because I think it looks like you guys are using it. It's all right. Anyway,
No, we're not known for our audio.
Yeah, we're not very technical.
Our podcast is very much, if it sounds like we're on a landline telephone, we're happy.
Okay. Because I have this, but then
Nice.
like, I don't know. This is more comfortable this way, but
Yeah.
I was thinking about which to use, but yeah. So then I was like doing the live looping thing. So I moved back to Connecticut, and I was just kind of trying to focus on that. Like I was even sort of to the point where I was like kind of turning down gigs just so I could try to figure out the looping thing, and that was a lot of fun. So that's what I was playing. Yeah, bass, guitar, melodica, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I would just sort of do some videos, and then like I would play some gigs with that. But oh man, there's a lot of stuff to lug around, you know.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's like that was fun. And then I kind of got to a point I was like, now I miss the people, you know.
Mhm.
Right.
So kind of, I guess I'd say I'm kind of on hiatus from the live looping, because I prefer the musical interaction with others, you know.
Yeah, that's great. How did you get connected to do the Dave with Tim Reynolds shows?
So I play with Postmodern Jukebox. I don't know if you know
That's right.
that group.
Yep.
And so that was actually my buddy Scott from the Hart School of Music. We go way back to there, and that's why I lived in Connecticut for a little while after that. Right. So just, you know, because I was already there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so Scott had started Postmodern Jukebox, and then that's a whole other thing in the stuff. Like because that was a whole adventure of like when I moved to, because he moved to New York, and then I kind of like, I had all these friends encouraging me to move to New York, where I live now.
Mhm.
And so it was like he would randomly just be like, hey Ben, what are you up to right now? You want to do a video? And like, honestly, most of the time I'd be like, no. Like, no, I'm
good.
Yeah, right. So then next thing I know, like, the few times I did do videos and stuff, it just went, you know, viral. And, you know, YouTube wasn't as much of a thing back then.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, so Postmodern Jukebox just totally, you know, blew up, and that was so much fun. And 2017, we had finished a tour, and we were in Portugal. And then so the tour had just ended. And there were like, I think there were 5 of us, because there were it's like 15 of us traveling all the time. So I think 5 of us were going back to New York, and like, so it was like early in the morning to get to the airport, and I think everyone else got an Uber, and I was like, I'm walking, because I knew it was really close. I'm like totally hungover. I was like trying to find the airport. Like, it's not, I mean, like, I could see it from where I'm at, but it was just hard to get over there. And, you know, this was not the US, so it was hard to figure out what was going on. You know, Google Maps wasn't working out too great, you know. It's like, it was like trying to ask people for directions. And so anyway, I barely got to the airport. And, so then it's like everyone else had already been there. And then, So now I'm at the airport, checking a bag and my suitcase, and then I see that behind me. I was like, oh wow, that guy looks just like Dave Matthews. I was like, oh, it is him. Because he had actually played the same venues we did with Tim Reynolds, like on different nights and stuff. And some of us were gonna go try to see them. So yeah, so I just started talking to Dave, and, and he was so nice. And, I told him that I was a long time fan, and that I would like practice the songs and stuff and play them at gigs, which I did, because I think I've been in like almost 10 bands, either bands or just small like duo trio things where we played Dave Matthews songs.
Yeah.
So I just like was talking to him, and then I gave him a business card,
Nice.
and then he ended up getting in touch with me. Like he just I got like a random. He just said like, hey, thanks for saying hello. I was like, oh, okay. And then so then like a few months after that, like I just like I would see where him and Tim were playing, and then Postmodern Jukebox was on the road. We were both near Nashville at the same time, and then I was like, hey, look, I'm gonna come to the show. If it's cool to like join in for a song, that'd be great. Otherwise, like that's I get it. I'll just be at the show. And he was like, sounds good.
I was like, okay.
So that very first time it was cool. I had like 4 people with me from Postmodern Jukebox. Like I had like my own little entourage, and that was really cool.
Nice.
So and then we played number 41.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Good one.
And that was he just asked me. He's like, what do you want to play? I was like, oh, how about 41? So that's how I met Dave initially, and then I would sit in with him and Tim. So yeah, just did that a bunch of. One time was with Dave solo at Radio City, and then Rashawn Ross joined in. It was like Dave solo for like 2 or 3 songs, and Rashawn Ross joined in, and then I joined in. So that was really cool. And then there was like a jam after, like Trey Anastasio band, and like Aaron Neville was on stage with us. Like,
oh my goodness!
Crazy. There's a picture. It's wild. I was like, whoa.
That's crazy though, and I love that story of how you met Dave, because it's kind of exactly how I would assume Dave would be.
He's exactly how you would.
Yeah.
He is
like approachable and just would be like, come play with us. Of course, obviously. Like,
right.
Okay.
That I mean, I wasn't expecting like the happenstance story. I was expecting there was played at a school and he was at the school with like something but the airport, and you gave him the card. Way to go.
I find the airport is a really good networking place. Yeah. Like
there you go.
As I met, I mean, this was just a 5-second meeting. Like it was Mark Turner, a fellow sax player, him and Ethan Iverson. I think they were doing a tour, just the 2 of them. And I kind of did similar thing. I was like, oh, great to meet you guys. Next thing I know, like Mark Turner is asking me about my case, because I have this it's case from France that's I think it's actually fireproof.
Nice.
I got it specifically for airports because I feel like they always want you to put stuff under the plane, and I was tired of like getting in arguments with the airport people, and I mean they have such a hard job, and I don't want to cause any trouble, and also I want to be able to be let on the plane. So
you don't want to end up in an empty room.
So like having this case that like knock on wood, I still haven't had to put it under the plane, but if I do, it'll be okay. But anyway, he was asking me about the case. He's like, oh, would you recommend that? I was like, yeah, So yeah, I think airports are good.
Yeah, not enough people talk about that.
Right. and also to stay in the main area because through friends and stuff, I've been able to go to those, the lounge.
Yeah.
The lounge is so boring. It's like you can see people on their laptops doing business deals and the food sucks. Terrible. I mean, it's horrible. Like, you stay in the main part, you can get some better food, you can drink,
right.
You can talk to people, So I think that's one thing Dave Matthews and I have in common, just be around the people,
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Love that.
So then 24 hours before the Madison Square Garden concert, your phone lights up again. Is it just one of those things where you start staring at the phone like what's happening right now?
Pretty much. It's like I was well, kind of a long story. I wasn't having like the greatest day. I wasn't feeling so good, and I was scheduled to take the booster shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did get a message directly from Dave. He was just like, "Hello, Ben, how are you doing?" And I was like, okay, that's nice that he said hello. I was like, I'm just kind of not feeling. I was like, I'm gonna go get the booster shot. I'll text him later. I feel like there's no obligation to get back to someone in 5 seconds. You can wait a little bit.
It's like, Dave, not now. It's not a great time.
And then it's and I usually have my phone on silent. I'm not really much. I don't know. I'm not really into just always being on my phone nonstop. I kind of like to just sort of let it ring.
Mm-hmm.
I probably missed out on things because of that, but thankfully I didn't miss out on this. I went. And then I got the booster shot, and I was like, oh, I think now would be a good time to just get back to Dave, see how he's doing, and then I noticed he actually texted me again. And he's like this is Dave Matthews, It's like I know, and then and he's like, are you in the city? And I was thinking, this might not just be saying hello, which is totally fine. And like I'm happy. Like I was just about to be like, hello, Dave. I'm doing fine. How about yourself? Because we're friends, and sometimes I'll just like text him like a clip from a movie or something. I was like, hey, check this out.
Do you send him TikToks like Frank does with you, or?
I probably should.
Yeah. Maybe get into that.
And yeah, he sent me like video clips and stuff. He's like, hey Ben, isn't this funny? So so we'll have to move on to TikTok. So yeah, I was like, dude, I think something's up. Like I don't know what. I didn't know that they had a show in Madison Square Garden. Like I knew they had just played in Connecticut, but I didn't know they were. I mean, I live under a rock, what I mean? So I just like texted back, just like, random things, like just good to hear from you. Da, da, da. And then I called my good friend Rashad, who he lives in Connecticut, and he was at the show. Both shows in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and he plays sax as well, and we've just been friends for a long time. And I was like, dude, I got a few messages from Dave. I was like, you think he's just checking in, or do you think maybe something's going on? And then as I'm talking to Rashad, he's like, either way, it's great. Either way, he's like, he's like, just enjoy it, have fun, And then so he's pretty much my like consultant for anything Dave Matthews Band related. So then as we were talking, then I got another message, and then he was saying, like unfortunately, Jeff Coffin had COVID, and so they needed somebody for Madison Square Garden the next 2 days. And I think even something like sorry to inconvenience you, Dave's very polite like that, So I was like, so I was like, yeah, so I said I was down, and like I kind of didn't mention anything about the booster shot. Like I don't know. I didn't want to have anything being like, oh, are you sure you'd be okay to play? Because I was sure I was okay. So then that was then I had to do a whole runaround. Like I don't actually have a Barry sax. I don't actually have one. So like I made a few phone calls to figure that out. So I figured that, and the soprano sax that was actually at the time it was in the shop. So then I called the guy at the shop. I was like, could we actually have the horn now? So.
It's like a rom-com. You're chasing around instruments around the city to get to
Yeah, it's now, and looking back, I'm like, usually on weekends I'm usually playing somewhere, and this happened. I think it's part of it was because I was like this, like I had noticed that weekend that I didn't have any gigs, and I was like, oh, that's a good time to take the booster shot. So I was like just planning on 2-3 days of doing nothing anyway.
Yeah.
So the timing was amazing because if I had gigs, I don't know what I probably would have, as we say, subbed them out. But that can be hard. Like even saying like, hey guys, listen, I'm playing with with Dave Matthews Band at Madison Square Garden, so I have to miss the gig. Even that, I feel like there's still an expectation of like, well, are you going to get a replacement for yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Ben, well, that's great. Congratulations. But
great for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then you just go into like crunch time the day of with Rashawn. Is that how? Because to me, I was up above where you were on stage left, a little bit up the first night. And, to me, and I told Jen, and I say it in the intro or the outro, I don't know, of this episode, like it was basically once Dave announced that from the stage at the beginning, to me, it became the show within the show because you could see you guys working the whole time. And I'm big picture theater guy kind of thing. So I'm watching everything that's going on. So, I mean, yeah, what is that day like with Rashawn where you guys are just zoning in, right?
It was wild because it was, there wasn't any sort of rehearsal or sound check with the bands. So I think I didn't even ask. Like I think they have that all figured out as far as the sound check. They that's actually one of the really cool things. Just the whole technology part of it, like. DMB has got it. They've got it down. They've got like I was. Half the time I was just trying to figure out like oh wow, how did this work with the wireless mics and this and this, and I still have no idea. So it was just a matter of a few hours before the show itself, just right in the dressing room. He was just showing me the parts, and a lot of the songs I had already played and stuff, but a lot of them also have evolved over time. Like I go back to like late 90s, early 2000s, where I'm like, practicing in my room, like with the album, and then playing at bars and stuff, like just usually like the album versions of the songs and usually kind of loose interpretations. So Rashawn really updated me, to how the songs are played live, and like I had some sheet music that I just kind of had. Some of it I wrote out, some of it I just randomly found, but honestly, most of it was just like us kind of jamming in the dressing room. And then when we got to the stage, it was like sometimes he would like hum the parts like before it was time to play. But then the really cool thing, well, that was super cool too. But the even cooler thing was that, like, I would imagine maybe you saw this. We would like go over to a corner, and we both had wireless mics, so we would turn off our mics, and we would play, like, you know, like, because like maybe like Tim Reynolds would have like a long solo. So like he's doing that. We're in the corner. Rashawn's like just playing the part, you know, over and over. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then we'd go back, we turn our mics on, and then you know he'd be like, all right, 2, 3, 4, boom, you know. And he was so cool about it. You know, Rashawn was so helpful, and just what a cool guy, you know. So cool.
That's amazing.
It's totally amazing. And and I have no musical knowledge whatsoever, basically. But you know, what I noticed the most was like he would be like, you know, and then he'd bring you back down. And that was cool.
Yeah. And I know that, I mean, Dave's shows are always different. He doesn't play the same things 2 nights in a row, especially at the same venue. Is there a set list before you're getting on stage? Do you know what songs are coming next, or is it kind of a total crapshoot?
I think that they since I was there, I think that the set list was done about 3 hours before the show.
Plenty of time.
I did notice when I played with Dave and Tim that they would just have a list of the songs, just kind of circle them like 10 minutes before going on. So I think they accommodated for me, and I think usually it's, you know, I mean, however they do it is however they do it, but I think it's probably right before the show, you know. So
wow. That's so nuts. And I know that my husband's a huge Dave fan as well, and so anytime we would be at shows, he would watch which guitar Dave was taking to try to like predict the next song just based on the guitar that Dave was using. And usually that's an indicator of what could possibly be coming next.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I did notice, especially with him and Tim, that that he would use a lot of different guitars.
So Madison Square Garden, it's like, you know, the mecca, especially like when it comes to sports for me, you know, and you're a sports guy. So like, that's how, you know, New Yorkers perceive the Garden, you know, and I'm a big wrestling fan. So I always think about, you know, the pop of Madison Square Garden. And once everyone knew you were from Brooklyn, I felt like anything you did the rest of the night got like that Madison Square Garden pop. I mean, like,
oh wow!
So I was like, everyone is all in on everything Ben is doing. What I guess the double question is, when does it first hit you, like that you're on stage at Madison Square Garden? I mean, because he had the opener. When is it? Does it ever settle? Are you just like going adrenaline the whole time? What is your process throughout that night, that first night especially?
Right. Well, you know, I don't know. It honestly, as soon as it came time to play, that's kind of the usual. I generally, I don't know. It's weird with playing shows. Unless I have to sing, I don't get nervous. You know. If I have to sing and if I have to talk, yes, I do get nervous because I'm not as used to that, you know. But I'm like playing the sax, I'm just like okay, 20,000+ people are here, and this is what I do, like that, you know. That I think since I've been doing this for quite a while, and I think, you know, just the confidence of this now. I was totally nervous leading up to it, you know. Right. But even that, it was more like, all right, am I going to be able to find a Barry sax? Am I going to be able to, you know, like I hope the instruments are all going to like not break, you know. I was like, am I going to be able to sleep? And of course, I didn't at all. You know? But like as soon as we started, it was just. It was just like, it was actually very relaxing because it's like, all right, there's all these people, but like all I'm hearing is just kind of, you know, like I have the in-ear monitors,
right?
So but like even when I take them out, like I just kind of hear like,
Yeah.
so it sort of doesn't feel real. I'm just like, oh, cool. It's almost like, it's like a dream. It's like,
Mhm.
or it's like, okay, it's like I'm watching a movie, except I'm in the movie, you know?
But you're in your element, so you're just like, I'm here. This is it.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
so I think, really, I was just like, this is just kind of, and like, I noticed like the guys in the band are very, very calm,
Mhm.
and like we started that first night with the best of what's around,
Mhm.
so it's just like very mellow. And I was just trying, I think at the beginning, I was just trying to, cause I'm, if you haven't guessed, like, I'm a performer, like I'm into the performance part. Like I take seriously the performance as much as the music itself,
Mhm.
so, theatrics and whatnot. So, but I know, from being a longtime fan of Dave Matthews Band, like
Mhm.
that band is more into the music. Like
Right.
obviously they put on an amazing show, but it's like I know, like it's the music, and they kind of like casual, and that's
Yeah.
that's what makes it so like endearing
Yeah.
and relatable. So I basically, I was just at the beginning, I was like, all right, this is Dave Matthews Band. This isn't like
Right.
like no, don't go to the front of the stage and go nuts. like just chill, relax.
Uh-huh.
And then, but then when we were playing What Would You Say, like I felt like I got the green light from Dave and from Rashawn. I was like, okay. I was like, now it can be the Ben show, and I'll bring these guys along for the ride, and
Mhm.
hopefully they enjoyed the ride. So I think that was definitely something. Definitely happened there.
Yeah.
And I just like, I was also just exhausted with the booster shot,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
not having. I actually hadn't slept in like 3 nights. It was
Oh
just
god.
like, and I was like, dude, I think it's time to just go to town. Like, it's just happening, and that was the magic moment there. And then the second night with the 4 horns, I
Right.
still can't even believe that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, what would you say? It's basically a 2-minute solo, maybe, and at that 90-second mark or so, and the video is online for people who want to check it out. That
Right.
at the 90-second mark, you just the wave, the sound that was coming from the crowd behind you, it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, dude, I was like, all right, everyone wants to party. Let's go. Let's do this. I was like, it's like, then I did my little move between the legs, which I totally got from Maceo Parker. Like he does. I've never seen him actually do that live, but there's a picture of him doing that. So that's why I did that. And like, as I was doing that, I was like, I might have taken this too far, and I don't care. I was like, and then but then after the song, like like Rashawn was like imitating it. It was so funny. That was like very, very heartwarming moment right there. I was like, oh my goodness, all right. So,
Well, and that's so cool. You go in, it's a unique situation. You get all the support in the world, basically, to really make it a shared experience for everyone. It's amazing. Yeah.
Thanks.
You have
Yeah,
you have a slew of gigs coming up in December.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Right.
podcast is dropping on the 2nd of December, and you're already going to be in Pennsylvania. So
Nice, very good.
And
Dude,
going like
you're my manager. You're hired.
You're going Pennsylvania, Nebraska, Minnesota, Nebraska. I think those are the 3, right? In the next couple of weeks.
Well, it sounds like you know better than that. I mean, you know what I have like I have like a physical calendar. That's the only thing I trust.
Yeah.
Like all these phone calendars, I don't know. So
I'm the same way.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Well,
no, so
cool.
like Hot Sardines, I've been playing with them since 2018. Like that's my main group, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. So those gigs were already booked, and the Hot Sardines didn't have anything that weekend. Where I played with Dave, you know, and the whole bird, like we played at Birdland, like all that was already set. You know, I think December is a big time month for music, and now that we can actually do this as opposed to last year and stuff.
Yeah.
So so that was already happened. Then this Rockabilly Christmas thing, that was that was not booked. That, like, I think the music director got in touch with me maybe the day after the Dave Matthews show, and then I think I got back to him in like 2 days, because, like, honestly, a lot of people were getting in touch with me then. I was like, listen, everyone's gonna have to be very patient with me, you know.
Me, I was getting in touch with you, Ben.
Yeah.
I remember.
That's awesome.
So I was, you know, and right. So that happened. Like I think that was just like they needed a sax player, and I think it was like, oh wow, let's see if Ben's available. You know, it wasn't. I find that that's how these things work. Like it's you do like something out of the ordinary from what the usual, and it's not. I feel like it's not all of a sudden like, oh, it's big time now, it's big time. but and then it's just sort of like you do that, and then there's like momentum within that. You know, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like with movie. I mean, look at Nicolas Cage right now. You know, a lot of people compare me to him, especially from a while ago. You know, like, I mean, I think he's in too many movies right now. I think he's like oversaturating. Right. So it's although I've heard that it seems to be that, like, he has all these bills to pay or whatever. You know? So I don't know. Wait, did I answer your question? I don't know.
I think it's out there somewhere. But all the gigs are listed for the whole month on benthesaxguy.com. Like I said, Pennsylvania coming up in the next couple of days, then Minnesota, Nebraska, then a lot of New York gigs. You're in Princeton at one point. I know that last week before Christmas, I'm going to try to hit one of those Rockabilly Christmas shows, because my work schedule might fit one of those in, and I only work about 11 blocks away. So,
okay,
yeah. So if I'm able to make one of those Rockabilly shows, I definitely want to, because I know where Swing 46 is. I think we have a mutual friend, actually, Sarah Hayes, who does Swing 46 gigs sometimes.
She's in that show. Yeah.
Awesome. So there you go. Now I have 2 reasons to go. So.
I will say, being a New Yorker, like, and Ben, to be honest, this is mostly a Disney podcast, but to tie something to Disney, sometimes we say, you know, there are things in New York that make us feel like Disney or some magic or whatever. And one of those things for me has always been hearing a saxophone play, like, in New York City. Like, my husband will always be like, one of your favorite things, give you some New York City views with like a saxophone in the background, and like you're set.
Cool.
So, like, to be able to hear your story and to talk to you, and like the fact that you can just jam out on it is amazing. And I just love hearing your journey and like taking you to Madison Square Garden. Like, that's amazing. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, thanks. Awesome. Oh yeah. I was trying to think of some Disney things. You know, it's
fine.
I like
more about the magical experiences, maybe.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes.
And this was definitely one of those.
Yes.
So I really like Disney Plus on Roku, on the Roku.
There you go. Yeah.
And especially now with the comic book movies and stuff, you know. So Guardians of the Galaxy, that's all on Disney. Oh wait, and Disney Plus has that new. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna watch it, but that new Beatles thing, right? Isn't that
yes, it is.
Really, you're not gonna watch it for real?
I'm not gonna watch. I have a hard time with things. I usually just fall asleep.
I'm about halfway through it.
Yeah.
It is definitely like I put it on and I do other things, and then I get sucked back into it. But it's definitely like just put it on, and that's not to disparage the work of Peter Jackson putting this 55 hours of rehearsal footage together. But it is definitely like I feel like more of like just have it going. I feel you.
It's a great idea. That's great. All right. It's well. First of all, I guess I broke my rule, which is I try not to criticize art in general.
Mhm.
I try to really be a cheerleader for all music, all movies. Just like especially like that's so annoying if like someone's like, oh yeah, I really like this band, and then someone else is like, nah, they suck. Like I don't, like that's so annoying. And that's kind of how I've been a lot. And I'm like trying not to do that anymore. I feel like basically I'm just not interested in music documentaries or biopics or whatever. Like, it's just not my thing. I think maybe probably because it hits too close to home, but at the same time, I see so many folks getting so excited about this. So I actually would like to see it. So that's a great idea. Have it in the background, do other things. Then I can at least know a little bit about it. So,
Right.
Because I do like joining in on the fun with the rest of the world. So, yeah.
Ben, I don't think you were being negative. I think
good.
like what you like, and you,
because I'm so into movies, like fiction movies, and then sci-fi, horror, things like that. So then it's like so many friends and family are like, oh, you should check out this documentary. I'm just like, oh, thank you. But there it is. Just have it in the background, get a little glimpse of it here and there, and now I especially want to watch the part with what's his name, Billy Preston. So So like everyone's Billy Preston. I love Billy Preston. So I played that song a bunch. We'll go round in circles. So it's a great recommendation there of how to go about this, and maybe I'll start enjoying them. I don't know.
And you didn't think we'd be talking about Disney, and we just incorporated Disney Plus programming. We're good now. We've covered all the bases. Well, Ben the Sax Guy on all the social media, benthesaxguy.com. Definitely, if you are looking for his gigs upcoming after awesome month of November, check that out. Ben, you're welcome to come back at any time to promote more gigs. We love talking to you about music and all the things.
Thanks.
And we really appreciate your time, and happy holidays to you.
All right. Happy holidays as well.
Beginning December 9th, it's the 12 days of Dillo's Diz social media ohana. That's right, we've dropped the Twitter, we've had social media, YouTubers, TikTokers. They're all coming for the 12 days of Dillo's Diz social media ohana. 12 days, 12 podcasts, 12 guests never before heard on Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. Make sure to check it out on your favorite podcatcher. The 12 days of Dillo's Diz social media ohana.
New Yorkers are big on like supporting their people.
Yes.
I'm sure I mentioned it. We're recording this before we did the interview. But to me, Madison Square Garden is like wrestling to me. So there were solos where he was getting like a Madison Square Garden pop, as they would say. That what would you say solo, which is on his YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. But it is like almost like a 3-arc story of at a minute and a half, the crowd just goes nuts, right? It builds like every 30 seconds. And then at the 2-minute mark, everyone goes crazy. It's wild to watch. And it was definitely, we were right above his side of the stage on stage left, just to watch everything go down that night was so awesome.
Yeah. I'm not jealous at all that I wasn't there. It's cool. But watching it back on YouTube, I mean, you can feel the energy. And that's, there's a lot of Dave shows like that where you feel the energy, but that was just a whole other level. And to think about how he was just called in like it's crazy. It's just crazy.
The whole story is crazy. Yeah. I mean, and awesome at the same time to just be able to jump in and like, hey, you're going to basically perform 40 to 50 Dave Matthews Band songs on 24 hours notice. Good luck.
Right. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Out of that, and to close out Theme Park Thursday here today, we're going to take you in to the Disney Plus corner.
Theme Park Thursday presents the Dillo's Diz Disney Plus Corner.
So over at dillosdizresort.com and our one channel Discord, which you can get for $1 per month. Resort guest Jeffers, Schmelty on Twitter, as it were. He posts a picture over the weekend of the family beginning Home Sweet Home Alone.
Speaking of, oh no.
And I said, hey, record your review and we'll put it on the podcast.
Yes.
And he's like, no. He's not yes ending right away. No. He sounds like me when my family asks me to do something, which I say no, and then I say yes.
Correct.
So late Tuesday afternoon, an audio file appears at dillosdiz@gmail.com. And it is Jeffers' review of Home Sweet Home Alone.
So excited. I wasn't sure if he was going to do it, quite honestly, because it was said and then never talked about again. And I was like, I don't know.
So we're really excited. This is the first of its kind here, where a Dillo's Diz Resort guest is providing content for Theme Park Thursday. Jeffers is breaking through. He has yes-anded the offer of doing a review on Theme Park Thursday. Without further ado, here's Jeffers to close out Theme Park Thursday with his review of Home Sweet Home Alone. Bye-bye.
Deuces.
Hi everybody, it's Jeffers. I'm going to put my MFA in dramaturgy hat on for a minute here and review Home Sweet Home Alone. Okay, let's be honest, I've got one film studies credit under my belt from 20 plus years ago at Carleton University, where it wasn't unusual for me to get a note on my paper with my C+ that says a little bit too much plot description, not enough analysis. Anyway, let me start by saying that there are a lot of strong feelings out there when it comes to this franchise by people who listen to and people who produce this podcast. You know, I don't really share those feelings. Home Alone, it's a funny movie. I saw it in theaters when I was a kid, but after that it was just one of those movies that, I saw on TV if it happened to be on TV. For me, the must-see Christmas movies were A Christmas Story, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, A Muppet Christmas Carol. Those were my Christmas movies. Now, things changed a few years ago when my now 10-year-old saw the original Home Alone, and she absolutely loved it. So she's been asking to watch Home Sweet Home Alone for a few weeks. So I can say that I went into watching it hoping to enjoy it. Honestly, it just didn't happen. You know, everything that the original got right, where Kevin is the sympathetic character, he's the misfit of the family, everybody picks on him. All he wants is a piece of cheese pizza and to be left alone. Everybody's yelling at him. He's just not at home in his own house with everybody around. And so who hasn't wanted to blow up at their family and say, you know what, I just wish you'd all disappear. And it happens, and we rejoice with him, and we have that, day of what would I do all on my own in my house as an 8-year-old. But of course the reality comes when the criminals come along and he's got to defend his house, and I think this is where the two movies kind of diverge. Home Alone, you had a very clear understanding of who the victim was and who the villains are. Everyone has no doubt whatsoever that Merv and Carl would cause bodily harm to Kevin in order to make a quick buck off the McAllisters' valuables. But in Home Sweet Home Alone, we're not even quite sure who the villain is here. Jeff and Pam, who act as the robbers in this film, are really just a couple who are about to lose their house because Jeff, I like that guy for some reason, has unfortunately lost his job and hasn't been able to find a new one, and they just can't carry their mortgage on their house until they find that, as luck would have it, they have a $200,000 collectible that they believe Max has walked off with after visiting their house for an open house. So instead of being a movie where an 8-year-old is on his own to defend his family's property, we have an 8-year-old who stands in the way of a family being able to keep their family home and continue to make wonderful family memories together. So Home Alone, or Home Sweet Home Alone's major problem, the way I see it, is we don't really know who to root for in this movie. We haven't had enough time to connect with Max, to feel attached to him, to feel good about him. And we certainly don't have a reason to dislike Jeff and Pam. They don't have any real serious character flaws that would make us dislike them. So we're almost rooting for them to find this doll and save their house. The whole movie really basically seems to just try to get us to the part that, of course, everyone loves about the original, and that's the defense of the house, all the different booby traps. And you know what? There were some really good ones. There were some cringe-worthy ones where you felt physical pain, or at least I did, and I think that's a positive, where you are having a visceral reaction to the things that Jeff and Pam are going through, similar to when, Marv or Harry would get hit with an iron or burn their hand or step on something sharp. That physical reaction, of course, is key. It's slapstick humor, right? At its finest. The problem becomes that there isn't this feeling of Jeff and Pam deserving it. They're going through all this torture, and you actually feel sorry for them. I think that's a complete failing of the movie. The movie thought they could recreate the original with just a few simple tweaks to a winning formula, toss in a few throwbacks to the original, a few Easter eggs for the fans of the original, but it just didn't work. You can honestly debate who the villain is in this movie. Is it Max? Or is it Jeff and Pam? And I think that's a real problem. There's really no heroes in this movie. Nobody you're rooting for. I think they could have done a far better movie just by flipping the script and going all in on Matt being like a snit-fitting, horrible little kid, where the audience is actually rooting against him, even though he's the kid home alone, and cheering for Jeff and Pam to say work through all the booby traps in order to meet their ultimate goal and find the doll. You could have had Max actually having stolen the doll and having Jeff and Pam realizing this and doing everything they can to get it back. My final recommendation for the movie: don't bother. Order yourself a cheese pizza. Pop in your copy of Home Alone into your VHS and Christmas like it's 1990 instead. Dillos, don't do it. Pretend like it doesn't exist. The end.
Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz, featuring Frank Cardillo and Jen Cardillo Snyder. The theme was composed by Matt Harvey. The intro and the outro was performed by Lindsay Zerugian. The Dillo's Diz fact checker is Mel Dale. You can give Dillo's Diz a follow on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok at Dillo's Diz. Dillo's with an S, Diz with a Z. You can like Dillo's Diz on Facebook, facebook.com/Dillo's Diz. And you can subscribe to Dillo's Diz on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dillo's Diz. That is where you'll find Theme Park Thursday live each and every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drop us a line. Dillo's Diz, 55 Gerard Street, number 987, Huntington, New York, 11743. And you can check in to the Dillo's Diz Resort at dillosdizresort.com, your virtual destination for exclusive Dillo's Diz content. 3 membership level tiers, all at dillosdizresort.com. We'll see you real soon, and that real soon is next week for Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. The Improviser's Guide Network 2021.